5 websites, 5 hours. 1 developer. 0 room for error. Today, I'm pushing my coding skills to the absolute limit in the ultimate speed challenge. We're talking a portfolio site, an e-commerce store, a blog platform, a landing page, and a full SaaS dashboard all built from scratch with modern frameworks. No templates, no shortcuts, just pure, caffeine-fueled coding chaos. And here's the kicker, everything you see is real-time. Every bug, every breakthrough, every moment of panic when the clock hits 4 hours and I'm only on website number 3. 5 websites, 5 hours, alarm clock, 1 developer. The rules. Challenge rules. Each website must be fully functional and deployable. I can use any framework or library but no pre-built templates. All websites must be responsive and production-ready. The timer never stops, breaks count against my time. If I don't finish all 5, I explain what went wrong. Starting the timer now. Website number 1, a modern portfolio site. I'm going with React and Tailwind CSS for lightning-fast styling. The strategy here is simple. Build the component structure first, then inject content. Hero section with animated text, project showcase with hover effects, about section, and a contact form. Let's see how fast we can move. 32 minutes in stopwatch. Portfolio site is done. Fully responsive, smooth animations, contact form wired up. That took just under 40 minutes. But here's where most people mess up. They spend too long perfecting. In a time crunch, done is better than perfect. We're moving fast. Website 2 is an e-commerce store, and this is where things get spicy. Product catalog with filtering, shopping cart functionality, checkout page. I'm using Next.js for this one because we need that sweet server-side rendering for the product pages. Time to crank up the speed even more. Shopping cart implementation using React Context API for state management. The cart reducer function handles 3 main actions. add_item checks if product exists in cart and either increments quantity or adds new item. Remove_item filters out items by ID, and the default case returns unchanged state. The state object contains an items array where each item has an ID, quantity, and product details. This pattern avoids prop drilling by providing cart state and actions throughout the component tree via context. 1 hour 45 minutes alarm clock. Check out this before and after. On the left, a basic static product grid. On the right, the same products but now with dynamic filtering, real-time cart updates, and smooth animations. This is what separates a practice project from something production-ready. A commerce site complete. Product pages, working cart, checkout flow, all functional. That was intense. We're 2 hours in and sitting at 2 out of 5 websites. Math says we're slightly behind pace, but I've got a plan. The next 3 sites are going to be fast. Website 3 is a blog platform. Homepage with article cards, individual blog post pages, author pages, and a search function. This one's all about content structure. I'm using Next.js again with Markdown for the blog posts. The secret? Pre-built component patterns I've memorized from building hundreds of sites. Building a blog platform involves several key phases. First, set up the Next.js project with Markdown support. Then create the layout components for consistent styling. Next, build the article listing with pagination. Add individual post rendering with proper formatting. Finally, implement search and author pages. 3 hours down. Blog platform is live. Clean design, fast loading, search works perfectly. 3 websites done with 2 hours left. We're back on track. But now comes the real pressure. The last 2 sites need to be flawless because we're running out of time. Landing page time. This needs to be stunning because landing pages are all about that first impression. Hero section with video background, feature cards, testimonials, pricing table, and a newsletter sign-up. Going minimal with the stack, just HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript for maximum speed. 4 hours, 15 minutes. Landing page complete and it looks gorgeous. For websites built. 1 to go. 45 minutes on the clock. This is where champions are made. The final website is a SaaS dashboard, the most complex one yet. Let's finish strong. The final boss. A SaaS dashboard with authentication, data visualization, user settings, and a notification system. React, TypeScript, recharts for graphs, and fake API data. This is it. Everything I've learned about speed coding comes down to these next 45 minutes. No pressure, just pure focus. Let me show you the mock data we're working with for this dashboard. We've got user statistics, revenue metrics, active sessions, and growth percentages. These numbers will power our charts and give the dashboard that authentic SaaS feel. Authentication system using TypeScript and React context. The auth context type interface defines the shape of auth state, including user object, login/logout functions, and is authenticated Boolean. The auth provider component manages authentication state with useState hook storing the current user. The login function is async, sends post request to /API/login endpoint with email and password, receives response with token and user data, stores token in local storage for persistence, and updates user state. The logout function removes token from local storage and resets user to null. The context provider wraps children and provides auth values, including computed is authenticated property that converts user to Boolean. This pattern centralizes authentication logic and makes it accessible throughout the app. 20 minutes left. 5 minutes remaining. Final touches. Responsive breakpoints. Quick bug fix on the chart tooltips. Testing the authentication flow one more time. And done. 5 websites. 5 hours. Mission accomplished. My hands are shaking. My brain is fried. But we did it. The final reveal. Let's look at what we built. 5 completely different websites, each one functional and production ready. From the sleek portfolio to the complex SaaS dashboard, every site represents hours of practice, pattern recognition, and pure coding speed condensed into one intense challenge. Quote, "Speed coding isn't about typing faster. It's about thinking faster, recognizing patterns instantly, and knowing exactly what to build before your fingers touch the keyboard." My brain after 5 hours of nonstop coding. Key takeaways. What did I learn from this insane challenge? First, preparation is everything. Having a mental library of component patterns meant I never had to stop and think about basic structure. Second, choosing the right tools matters. React and Tailwind saved me hours. Third, perfect is the enemy of done. Every minute spent tweaking colors is a minute not building features. And finally, pressure creates diamonds. When the clock is ticking, you access a level of focus you didn't know you had. Breaking down the time spent on each website reveals some interesting patterns. The portfolio and landing page were fastest because they're primarily presentational. The e-commerce and dashboard took longer due to state management complexity. The blog was middle ground, structure heavy but logic light. But here's the real question, could you do this? Honestly, with enough practice, absolutely yes. I've been coding for years, but the techniques I used aren't magic. They're learnable. Component composition, utility-first CSS, state management patterns, authentication flows, all of these are skills you can master with deliberate practice. Speed coding tips. My top speed coding techniques. Master keyboard shortcuts. Mouse is your enemy when speed matters. Build a personal snippet library for common patterns you reuse. Learn to read documentation fast. Control F is your friend. Use starter templates but customize them heavily. Practice building the same thing multiple ways to find fastest approach. Keep a component library of your own battle-tested code. Time yourself regularly to build pressure tolerance. Focus on functionality first, polish later. Learn to debug by elimination, not exploration. Embrace CSS frameworks, no shame in standing on shoulders of giants. My journey to speed coding wasn't overnight. It took years of consistent practice, countless projects, and honestly, a lot of failures. Here's how the progression looked. But wait, There's one more thing. A lot of you asked me to make the code available. So I've uploaded all 5 projects to GitHub. Every line of code, completely free. The link is in the description. Clone them, study them, modify them, build on them. That's how you get better, by seeing how others solve problems. By the numbers, this challenge was intense. Over 3,000 lines of code written, 127 files created across all projects, 89 commits pushed to Git, and approximately 842 keyboard shortcuts used. My fingers might never recover. So that's it. I built 5 websites in 5 hours and somehow survived. If you enjoyed this challenge, drop a comment with what you want to see built next. Should I go for 10 websites in 10 hours? Build a full app in 24 hours? You tell me. And if you learned something today, hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started at CodeForge. Code, create, forge. Thanks for watching. GitHub repos in description. Enjoyed this video? Hit the like button and subscribe to stay tuned for more.